Season 6 of Unapologetically Woman. We're celebrating phenomenal women all across Kentucky who make no apologies for their perspectives or the impacts that they're making in the community. Today we're celebrating Lyndi Griffin. Lyndi is a wife, a mom, a realtor, and lifetime member of the Top Producers Club. Unapologetically Woman, Lyndi Griffin, that's you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
Oh, girl, you are used to excitement. You are a sports mom with 5 daughters.
Yes, I have 5 girls. 3 of them are in all-star cheerleading, 2 in competitive swim. One of them's in basketball and volleyball. So,
are you just all over the place?
All over the place. Very busy.
What are the ages from the oldest to the youngest?
15, 11, 10, 6, 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Any more coming?
Oh no, we're done. We're done. No more.
Well, one of your daughters was on a TV show with you too.
Yes. So it's funny. An interesting fact about me. It's funny because people think this is interesting. My friend is on a TV show on Bravo, and I was in her wedding, and so my daughter was also in her wedding, and she was on the TV show with me, and so people think that's so funny.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you've been on a few episodes of the show, right?
Yes, yeah. During her season where she was getting married, I was on several episodes because we did her bachelorette party, her bridal shower, all that stuff. So. Yeah.
Oh, that's got to be fun.
It is fun. It was a lot of fun.
So, Lyndi, what is it that you want your daughters to learn from you?
Well, it's important for me for my daughters to see that women can really do anything that they set their mind to. Like we talked about earlier, I have 5 daughters, and they watch me, everything I do. They look up to me, which I love. I got into real estate. Well, I graduated college with a degree in communication studies and a minor in business. And after I graduated, there wasn't a lot for me. I couldn't find a lot out there for me to do work-wise. So I was a waitress for a while after college. And then somebody, talked to me about real estate. Hey, have you thought about getting into real estate? I think you'd be really good at that. And I started to take the classes. I really enjoyed it. And that's how I got into it. So, just because you experience a roadblock, just like I did after college, I graduated and I wasn't able to find the career that actually fit what I was looking for. So just keep going, and eventually the right thing will find you, and that's what happened with me. So just because you don't know exactly the path that you're headed towards right now, that doesn't mean you're not going to find it.
So tell me, I know that you're married to Justin, but before Justin, who was your support system?
So I have a very supportive family. My mom, my sisters, my dad, they were all very supportive. My dad has since passed away since I've started real estate, but I've always had a very supportive family, which I'm so grateful for because I know a lot of people don't have that. But it's so nice to be able to, have them to fall back on or for encouragement. And I think it is really important for people to kind of find their tribe. And that way, you're not going at it alone. And if you are, that's good for you. I know there's a lot of strong, independent women out there that can do it alone. But if you have a support system, that's great too. And I'm very glad that I do. And
so when you think about your support system, and you said your dad is no longer with us, what do you think your dad thinks about you?
I think he's proud. And I think that I think he's proud of me and all of my sisters. I have 2 sisters too, and they also work very hard. And I know he's looking down and he's proud of our families and what we've been able to accomplish.
So this is really a family of girls.
Yes, all girls. One of my sisters does have twin boys, but other than that, we're all girls.
She was showing off.
Yeah, other than that, we're all girls. Yeah.
And then you, with your family, you and Justin were named a power couple.
Yeah, so we were named the power couple a power couple in the Thompson Lex magazine. I have been a realtor for 13 years. I got my license in 2012. So I've done that for a long time. He has a couple companies, Griffin Executives and Griffin Security. So we were named a power couple in Lexington.
Yay!
Very exciting.
And so you're a realtor, and tell me about what you do and why that's important for you.
Well, it's important to me because what I specialize in is first-time home buyers, and I think it's really important for people to own property because, you know, especially in this economy, a lot of people don't have retirement money. A lot of people don't have, you know, a 401k or even a plan for retirement. And when you do own property, that always appreciates. And in the end, you're going to end up making some money from it. So it's important to me to help first-time home buyers get their foot in the door. And you know, it's not just your first home might not be for your forever home, but it's going to help you get to your forever home. And you know, like I said, real estate always appreciates. So when you buy a property, for example, in about 2014, I bought a property, and this was before the big boom, so it was prices were low, for $125,000, and then I sold that property in 2023 for $276,000. So that's just money, you know, that people could have to put towards their next home, put towards their retirement. And not everybody realizes you don't have to have a lot of money to get into the door. So a lot of times young people want to get into real estate, but they're not aware, you know, that they're like, you know, I would love to be a homeowner, but I don't have a lot of funds for a down payment. Well, you don't have to. And that's where I come in. You know, I'm able to hold their hand every step of the way. There are programs for down payment assistance. There are programs for even grants sometimes that you don't have to pay back that goes towards your down payment. So it's important to me to just, you know, share knowledge to younger people, to the younger generation, that just because you don't have a lot of money right now to put towards a down payment, you still are able to get into the real estate game, and it's possible.
And that's important too, because when you think of buying a house, you know, it's a big purchase.
It is, and it's scary for a lot of people.
I was just about to say, it's scary.
It's scary for a lot of people because they think they're going to be putting a lot of money into it, and really, you know, if you are able to get down payment assistance or a grant for your down payment, you don't have a whole lot of skin in the game. And people are worried, like, we're gonna have, you know, if I rent, then my landlord is gonna fix everything. But also when you rent, all of your money, you're not getting your rent payments back.
Right.
So if you're paying $1,000 a month for rent, that's $12,000 a year. Well, that right there could have paid for a new HVAC.
Right,
so,
that's right.
Yeah, you know, when you're paying a mortgage, that money, when you sell the house, that money is going to mostly go back to you. There is interest, obviously, but other than that, I mean, you're building equity when you own a home. So there are, you know, costs associated with owning a home, but it's in the long run, the costs are nothing. They pale in comparison to the benefits.
Well, and home ownership is one of the ways that people can build generational wealth.
Right. And that's something I like to talk to, you know, first-time home buyers about that are scared, because like I said, that's money, you know, I don't really know a lot about the stock market or anything, but I know that it's up and down. But when you buy real estate, that's always appreciating. And especially in the past 10 years, real estate has appreciated so much. I mean, I've sold people houses back in, you know, 2015 that turn around, sell their house now, and they have so much more money to put towards their down payment on their dream home. And they're able to attain that because they did buy a home back, you know, 5 or 10 years ago. So it's just really getting started. And that's the important thing. And I like to, you know, share knowledge about that with the younger generation, because they don't always know. They don't teach this stuff in school.
No, you don't. And you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And things change over time too, because I remember when we bought our first home, it was just 3 of us. And then very quickly it turned into 6 of us.
Yes, same with me. So you buy your first home, and you know, you're starting a family, and that's how a lot of people do. They buy their starter home, they're starting their family, and very quickly they need a bigger home, which is great because now we can sell your home and you can afford a bigger home because of the money that you've made while you've owned this home. Whereas if they were renting that entire time, they wouldn't have the equity that they put into that home to purchase their new home, their bigger home.
Now, do you ever advise people to keep that starter home? if they're in a position to keep the starter home when they're...
Yeah, because that's a good way to build a rental portfolio. And I've even done that myself before. So if it is possible to keep your starter home, use it as a rental property, move up to a bigger home. Of course, if you did that, you wouldn't be able to use the money that you've sold it for a down payment. But if you're in a position where you're able to do that, it's a great option. That way you can go ahead and start your rental portfolio. You can have income coming in from your rental property. And, sometimes that could even pay for your own mortgage, the income you have coming in for your rental property. So
like a double check.
Yeah. It's using your first home as a rental property is a great idea if you are financially able to do that.
So, because my husband always says, we should have kept our first home.
Yeah. And honestly, when you are buying rental property, you do have to put 20% down. So if you use a property that you've lived in, you wouldn't have had to do that when you purchased it. So when you purchase it, if you're an owner occupied, you don't have to put 20% down. There are programs where you can put 3% down, 5% down. And like I said, there's even programs where first-time home buyer grants, first-time home buyer down payment assistance. So you can use that and you won't have to put money down. So you have your first home as a rental property, move up, and there you go. You're a landlord now.
See, wow. And and it's got to be so good especially when you're a first-time buyer, to have somebody like you holding your hand and walking you through it and just telling you the things that you might not know and the little tricks that...
Yes. Yeah. And when I started in real estate, that was pretty much all I worked with was first-time home buyers, because when I started, I was a lot younger. I was, like I said, this was 13, 14 years ago. So people my age were first-time home buyers. So that's really what I started with, and that's kind of my niche, and I love to help, guide them. I always have our consultations beforehand so I can take them step by step through the process. If they have any questions, I like to guide them and get any questions answered before we even get started.
Well, and one of the things that people say about you is that they can trust you and that you are a master negotiator on their behalf.
Yeah, I love, negotiating is, it's after you've been doing this for as long as I have, it's just kind of like a sixth sense. Like it's really easy for me at this point, and I enjoy doing it.
And so you're a lifetime you're a member of the lifetime So you're a member of the lifetime member. Yeah. So you're a lifetime member of the Top Producers Club. What does that mean?
So that just is when in Lexington and actually all of Central Kentucky, we have a real estate board. So when you sell a certain amount, I can't remember what it is. I think it's like over $3 million a year maybe. After you do that for so long, you become a lifetime member of the Top Producers Club. So that just means that I have consistently over the years sold a large amount of real estate. Basically is what that means.
Girl, that's what it means. Bring home the bacon, girl. That's what it means.
Yeah.
So, Lyndi, if you had some advice that you would give young girls, young women that are watching that might be interested in doing something like you would do, like you're doing, what would that be?
I think my advice would just be, keep going. We're all going to experience failures, and that's just a part of the process. Starting out in real estate was not easy, and I don't think it's easy for anybody, to be honest. When I started out, I've never been on an actual team. I've always been a solo agent. So, I have to find my clients myself, go through the entire process myself, which is, I enjoy doing that because I like to be, like I said, I like to be with my clients the entire time. And not hand them off to somebody as soon as we go under contract. I'm with them the entire process. So, but it's also harder when you start real estate and you're a solo agent because you don't have help. So, like I said, failure is always going to happen. I've had contracts fall through. I've had, months that I've gone without income because you don't have income if you're not closing deals. So sometimes when the real estate market is slow, it happens. So I would just say keep going because we all experience failure and that's a part of the process. But if you keep going and work hard, you can accomplish anything.
Congratulations.
Thank
Lyndi.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So So you guys heard it from Lyndi. Just keep going. You're gonna fail a time or two along the way, but don't let that stop you. And continue to watch as we celebrate other phenomenal women in Kentucky on Unapologetically Woman. We'll see you soon.